9 News at Noon starts right now.
Not guilty. That's the plea former National Security Advisor John Bolton gave in court this morning. It was his first appearance since a federal grand jury in Maryland indicted him yesterday. Thanks for joining us at noon. I'm Alexandra Lewis. Bolton had served as President Trump's advisor during his first term, but since he's publicly criticized Trump. Now he's been charged with 8 counts of transmission of national defense information and 10 counts of unlawfully retaining that information. Prosecutors claim the documents seized in August from his Maryland home and Washington, D.C. office had intelligence about future attacks, foreign adversaries, and foreign policy relations. But prosecutors also allege Bolton sent the sensitive information using either his personal email or a messaging app. His lawyer argues the underlying facts in this case were investigated and resolved years ago, adding that information found in his personal diaries is unclassified. If found guilty, Bolton could get as many as 10 years in prison. Israel and Hamas traded new accusations today over the return of dead hostages. Israeli claims Hamas has not surrendered the 28 that were promised and only delivered 10. Hamas says they mentioned before that it could be difficult to find all of the bodies they're looking for, but they are using heavy machinery to try and find them. Back home, a popular restaurant in Frisco is back open after an ICE raid closed its doors. The community is showing support for the longtime business by showing up in droves. So originally, ICE agents showed up at the Hacienda Real last month with a criminal search warrant. The owner, Luis Flores, says they took computers and employment records and detained 2 of his workers. One of them is a manager who had been with the business for several years. Flores says while agents told him he could stay open, he chose to close the restaurant to process what had happened and to reorganize his staff. Just reopened yesterday.
La gente que ha llegado ahorita o que me han hablado, que me han preguntado que cuándo abríamos, porque lo que hemos sentido que es el abrazo, el aporte.
Says 2 of his employees were deported to Mexico following the operation. An ICE spokesperson confirmed the raid was part of a criminal investigation, but has not given the details of that investigation or whether any charges have been filed. We've all been looking forward to the weekend, and looks like it's going to be a good one. Let's check in with meteorologist Chris Bianchi, who's tracking just what looks like a beautiful forecast. There's like not a cloud in the sky behind you.
Not a cloud. Exactly right. You got it. You could do the whole weather thing here, Al.
Oh, thank you.
You got it. You nailed it. Exactly right.
You're the pro.
Yeah, you got it. I'll give you the clicker. Yeah, exactly. Not a cloud in the sky. It's not just Burlington here, folks. It's really statewide. Really here from Grand Junction east to Denver, north to Fort Collins, south to Trinidad. We are talking about not a cloud in the sky. Really anywhere here across the state. Blue skies for us here in Denver. Temperatures in the low 60s for us. 60s eastern plains, 40s and 50s in the mountains. And for now, winds are on the light side. That is a bit of good news. That'll be a little different for us for tomorrow. Radar, again, not a cloud statewide for us on this Friday, October the 17th. And today we'll top out at 67 degrees, cool sunshine, but pleasant weather overall with those temperatures a couple degrees above our average high of 65 for this time of year. Next few hours, we'll have mostly clear skies into tonight. Pleasant weather for any outdoor activities, a jog, a stroll, outdoor happy hour, any of those sorts of things looks fantastic. And again, wind will not be an issue for most of us here through the next few hours. However, tomorrow, it will be a factor. You will notice the wind. I'll show you when that wind kicks up and get you more details about our next cold front that coming up for you in just a few minutes.
Investigators in Netherlands say they've determined the fire that destroyed the Caribou Village shopping center last week was not intentionally set. However, with it said, they still don't know what actually sparked the fire. Some good news, though. Several of the 18 businesses have found permanent or temporary homes. The town administrator says that includes the town's medical center, which is expected to reopen to the public next Wednesday. Many parents and Jeffco students, along with its community members, want full-time resources officers at the schools, in every school in the district. They packed a school board meeting to make sure that the push gets heard. So this comes just 6 weeks after shooting that hurt 2 students at Evergreen High School. 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon brings us more.
Safety concerns weren't listed on the official agenda for the meeting, but that didn't stop the crowd of people from speaking up during public comment yesterday. The school board extended the session so that everyone who wanted to say something could have the time to do that. Now, the meeting did get emotional at times, with several speakers and board members shedding tears as they recounted their experiences during the shooting. Jeffco Public Schools has since assigned a permanent school resource officer to Evergreen High School, but there was no permanent officer on campus on the day of the shooting, which has drawn a lot of criticism. Many speakers advocated for expanding SRO programs to all schools in the district. Others talked about different solutions to keep students safe and build back trust with families.
At the end of the day, it comes down to one simple question. Would you rather walk through a metal detector or run for your life?
In Jefferson County, where we've piloted SRO programs, they've built bridges, officers counseling at-risk youth, spotting red flags before they flare. Imagine one at every high school, middle school, and elementary school.
Beyond security, some speakers also criticized district leadership for what they called inadequate support and communication following the shooting. After the meeting concluded, counselors were available for mental health support. In Golden, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
Courtney, thank you. Castle Rock police are now keeping an eye on the community with AI drones. They're made by the controversial company that runs license plate scanners across the country and here in Colorado. The police department signed a 3-year, $600,000 deal with Flock. It's the same company that told us just a few months ago it had no federal contracts and immigration agents did not have direct access to its license plate data. We later learned that simply was not true. Both the police department and Flock say the drones will collect data differently than the license plate readers. And the videos are taken, they're subject to the same rules as like body camera video in that they're considered public record. The town also has a website that shows each flight log. Still, the potential for misuse worries a lot of folks, especially privacy advocates.
It's a lot of information to have about individuals that, if it's not secure, can do a lot of damage.
Even back in 1984, police officers could access sensitive information. So you have to have the policies in place and the guardrails in place, and you have to have a culture that's not going to allow that.
Castle Rock police can fly these AI drones at 400 feet daily without an observer because of waivers from the FAA.